The Northport Industrial Park in North Mankato is among 4 projects to receive funding from the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. Just over $1 million in state funding will be used to help the construction of streets and utilities to expand the industrial park on the city's northwest side in upper North Mankato. The state says the expansion will add 67 acres and 7 lots to the park. An unidentified warehousing and distribution business is planning an immediate investment of $15 million in a new facility, which will create 75 jobs. The city expects the project to create $28 million in private investment and 150 new jobs. Other projects in Stewartville, Chisago City, and Hermantown will share those state grants.